Hello, everyone. This is Rick, and welcome to Astral Club. This is the Silent Guardian Angel. Before we get into it, just want to mention a couple things. First, Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel, you can certainly do so on Patreon. When you join, you get advanced podcasts, a chat function where you can chat with everybody, and there's some great discussions there sometimes. There's direct mail when you just want to ask me a question. So if that sounds interesting, just go down to the description section and you'll find a link to Patreon. Next up, private astral projection lessons. If you'd like a lesson with me to learn how to astral project, I talk with folks now all over the world. It's great. And we've had a lot of great success. If you'd like to learn more, please go down to the description. There's an email there. Just send me an email asking for more information. Okay, let's get started. The Silent Guardian Angel. After the negative characters I've been talking to recently, I thought an interview on the lighter side might be a refreshing change. A good friend of the channel and an expert astral projector in her own right, Astral Tourist, had told me about her guardian angel as she was growing up. Oh, by the way, Astral Tourist has a great channel. She has some great astral projection stories. I'll leave a link in the description for anybody who's interested. Anyway, that story had given me an idea to interview an actual guardian angel. Now, this classification of angel has appeared in many occult as well as children's stories. It was said they protected their charges as they grew, helping them to face the challenges of life. My angel guide set up the appointment. All I had to do was just show up and ask my usual hard-hitting questions of this remarkable being. I transported myself to the ident that I was given, regaining my awareness in an abandoned monastery. There was crumbling masonry all over the floor, mixed with vines that had intruded into the sanctum through gaping windows, long void of their stained glass. For a moment, despite the ruin, I imagined robed monks gathering for evening prayers in this room when it had been a clean, Spartan stone chapel. Suddenly, without warning, standing before me, I saw a figure draped in light, a soft glow haloing over her form. The angel was tall, with an aura of quiet strength, but it was her eyes that immediately captured my attention. Deep pools of understanding, like they had seen eons of human struggles. She wore a simple, white, elegant robe to her ankles that shimmered with a gentle light. Despite the otherworldly presence she exuded, there was a calm, almost solemn grace about her. "Thank you for agreeing to speak with me," I said with respect. My voice felt small in the vast space between us. The angel nodded, but said nothing at first. Her silence was thick, almost palpable, as though the very act of speaking was a weighty matter for her. She floated towards me with a small smile and delicate grace, stopping 6 feet or about 2 meters from me. I resisted the impulse to back up. The guardian angel before me was very slim, with long blonde hair, blue eyes, fair, and the attractive features of a mid-30s woman. Her robe tied at the waist with gold silk. She looked exactly like my version of a guardian angel. Of course, I doubted that was just a coincidence. I managed to telepathically voice a question. I suppose my first question is the most obvious one. What does it mean to be a guardian angel? The angel remained silent for a moment longer, her gaze steady and piercing. When she finally replied, her inner voice sounded like the slow rustling of wind chimes, a gentle sound that felt both ancient and timeless. "To be a guardian is to serve," she said. Her voice so quiet, it felt like it resonated within my own heart. "To walk unseen, to guide without interference. Our task is not to change the course of fate, but to ensure it is followed with the least pain and most purpose. We help when we are called, but we do not lead. I burned her words into my memory. The angel's tone was humble, devoid of any pride or grandiosity. There was no sense of glory in her words, only an unwavering commitment to her duty. Is it hard? I asked cautiously, the question slipping out before I could think the better of it. Is it difficult watching from a distance and never intervening directly? Her eyes softened slightly, though her expression remained composed. It is a task of patience, she said, but also one of understanding. Human beings must learn on their own, and sometimes the path to wisdom is through struggle. It is not always easy, but it is necessary. And in their pain, they often find the most profound aspects of themselves. I nodded, trying to fathom the weight of what she was saying. For an angel, this one was unusually reserved, never boastful, not even in the slightest. She spoke as if being a guardian were simply a role, not an honor. I couldn't help but wonder, though, how it felt to be so detached from humanity, to watch, but never fully engage. How do you choose who to protect? I asked. Is it based on some divine purpose, or do you simply decide? The angel's gaze flickered for a moment, as if considering my question carefully before responding. We do not choose. It is not for us to decide who deserves protection or guidance. It is the universal will that determines who we watch over. Our presence is a gift, though it is often unseen and unrecognized. We are chosen to help souls in ways they may not understand, to safeguard their journeys and ensure they reach their ultimate purpose. I felt a deep sense of reverence in her words, the weight of 1,000 lifetimes wrapped in a few simple sentences. The air in the room seemed heavier, as though the angel's presence had become more pronounced. Do you ever wish you could do more, I asked, my telepathic voice barely above a whisper. Do you ever long to step in, to truly change things? There was a brief, almost imperceptible pause. The angel's expression softened further, and for the first time, a flicker of something like sadness passed through her eyes. We long for the same things as those we protect, she replied softly. But we must remember our place. We are guardians, not saviors. It is not for us to change what is meant to be, but we offer what we can: guidance, comfort, and sometimes a quiet presence in moments of need. I digested her words. She didn't speak of grand battles or celestial glory. Instead, she spoke of humility, of purpose without recognition. It was a noble yet profoundly quiet existence. After all these centuries, I asked, trying to bridge the gap between the divine and the human, how do you find meaning in it all? Watching so many lives pass by, witnessing both the beauty and the tragedy of humanity. The angel looked just over my head at the shadows on the ancient walls, her gaze distant for a moment, as if seeing beyond time itself. The meaning is in the moments, she said softly, in the fleeting instances where a soul changes course, where a heart finds peace, where a single act of kindness alters the trajectory of a life. We do not seek recognition, for we are not the ones who change. It is the humans themselves who do. We are but quiet watchers, the gentle guides, and that, in its own way, is enough. I sat in silence for a while, the weight of her words settling in my chest. I had expected something grander, more heroic, but what I had encountered was something far more profound. The angel wasn't just a protector, they were a silent witness to the vast tapestry of human existence, always present, but never imposing. She existed to help, not for herself, but for all those she watched over. As the interview came to an end, I stood, moved beyond words. The angel gave me a nod, and with a final glance, she faded like a shadow in the twilight. I stood alone in the quiet monastery, pondering the quiet nobility of a being who had seen so much, yet never sought recognition, never sought praise. In that moment, I realized that perhaps the greatest strength of a guardian angel was not in their power, but in their restraint, a restraint born from a deep, unwavering love for the souls they protected. If you like that, please hit the like button, share it with those of like minds. Subscribe if you haven't already. And please leave your comments and questions. Did you have a guardian angel when you were growing up? What are your thoughts on the whole process and the duties of a guardian angel? And any other questions, I'd appreciate it. I love the discussion. At any rate, this is Rick, and I will see you on the astral plane.